A man of many talents, he plays the guitar. Please welcome Jeffrey Purtee. Zap your stress. Zap your stress, Jeffrey Purtee.
Picture this. It's a wonderful Monday morning. You have had a spectacular week. You come back refreshed, energized. You're ready to start that project. You decide what you need is a little music to help you concentrate. So you turn on your favorite old-time country music station just for that purpose. And the wailing tones of George Jones come on. Oh, not like that. I woke up this morning aching in pain. Let's try that again. It actually works. I woke up this morning aching in pain. Didn't think I could work, but I'll try. My wife took the car, so I walked all the way. Oh, these days I barely get by. Oh, these days one barely gets by. You just started the day, you're depressed and stressed, and you haven't even done anything. And that leads to my first stress alleviation tip: don't listen to country music. No good can come of it. By the way, in case you're curious, the answer is yes. I've been playing this now for 5 weeks. I got a couple of questions. Are we going to hear the guitar? And I said, I'll let you be the judge of that. Stress can take many forms and be very debilitating, as I'm sure we've all experienced at one time or another. My personal opinion is we cannot get rid of stress. Stress comes from, in many instances, wanting to do your very best. We want to excel, we want to do a good job, and along with that comes stress. Today you're going to pick up 3 tips to help alleviate that stress. Tip number 2, pick up a right brain hobby, like playing the guitar. I just started this 5 weeks ago because I read some recent research, and by the way, it's amazing what we can do now. You can actually put electrodes on your brain and actually track the activity. But many of you, like me, spend all day in what's called left brain activities. We do analysis, we do analytical work, we do editing, we do mathematics. We hardly exercise the more creative right brain aspects at all. Here's an interesting fact that they've discovered. If you have a right brain activity, it will actually enhance your ability to do left brain processing as well because of the interconnection with the two. So it is important to pick a right brain hobby that you can use to enhance yourself. So tip number 1, to alleviate stress: don't listen to country music, especially bad country music. Now I have to tell you, I had a friend of mine after I gave this presentation said that modern country music is a lot more upbeat. I don't know, I don't listen to music, modern music. Mine was raised on George Jones and Conway Twitty. Tip number 2, pick a right brain activity as a hobby. Dancing, singing, writing, but not editing. Interesting, if you edit your own writing as you write, you switch to left brain. Tip number 3 is keep a gratitude journal. Now, I have to give credits where it's due. My wife is the master of a gratitude journal. Every morning she gets up, sits down with her journal, and writes. Every evening she sits down with her journal, reviews the day, writes more gratitudes. It helps her. I'm sure it helps keep peace and tranquility and alleviate stress. Now me, I don't have that kind of discipline. Sorry. But I do have a gratitude phrase. And it's a phrase I learned in 1973 when I turned 16 years old. I was working for my dad construction at the time, and we spent the whole summer in the hills of eastern Tennessee. That's coal country, if you've ever been there. And that was the era of king coal. Every day I would do construction work, and every day these miners would leave the house at 6:30 for the shift that was from 7 to 3. So 3:30 they'd be coming home. They would be covered in soot, just covered head to toe. The first thing they always did was go in and wash themselves off, and we would still be working and meet some of these people. They still had that grainy black soot. And even as a 16-year-old, I remember thinking, you know, some of that is getting inside as well. So at age 16, I learned a gratitude phrase. No matter how difficult things have gotten, no matter how stressed I am, I just remind myself, at least I'm not digging coal. It could get worse. Now, because I just learned the guitar 5 weeks ago, I wrote a song about it. Some of you with particularly sharp ears are going to think to yourself, Jeffrey, that song sounds suspiciously like the first song that you played. Well, after 5 weeks, what do you want? I only know 2 songs. One of them's George Jones' I Barely Get By, and the other one ain't. You likely face troubles just like me. You've likely had stress, hard as can be. No matter how troubled or stressed we may be, at least we're not digging coal in the hills of Tennessee. When you take up a right brain hobby, I want to close with this. You will have some unusual circumstances happen sometimes. I remember Elizabeth, my darling wife, was in the kitchen making dinner one time. And I couldn't help myself. I'm practicing my guitar. By the way, that's the other chord I know. That's a G. And I couldn't help. I walked in there because I just felt like serenading her. Oh, you're my sweet darling, the love of my life. You're my little honey. You bring peace to my life. She stopped and looked at me and says, all right, who are you and what have you done with my real husband?